Today we're going to talk about unit trains on my N-scale layout. That's coming right up. Hi, I'm Roy Smith. I want to talk to you about unit trains, what they are, and why I run them on my layout. But first, let's take a little quiz, okay? It's an easy quiz. Here it is. Is this a unit train? What do you think? Is this a unit train? How about this? Is it a unit train? And this, is it a unit train? If you said yes to all four of these, then you have scored 100% on the quiz so far. But let's continue the quiz with just two more questions. Is this a unit train? And how about this? Is it a unit train? If you said no to both of these, then you have scored perfectly on the quiz, 100%. Well done. Why were the first four unit trains and the second two not unit trains? To answer this question, we need to begin by asking, what is a unit train? Well, very simply, a unit train is a train in which all of the cars on the train carry the same commodity. All of the cars on the train are going from the same origin to the same destination without being reclassified for other destinations en route. And since unit trains carry only one commodity, all the cars on the train are of the same type. For example, all of the cars on the train are coal hoppers, covered hoppers, or tank cars. Normally, the locomotives pulling the unit train stay connected to the unit train from the train's origin to its destination. Typically, unit trains run as loads in one direction and return as empties in the opposite direction. Real railroads love unit trains. So do large industries. These trains are efficient. Time and money are saved by avoiding the complexities and delays that are normally associated with mixed freight trains that have to be assembled and disassembled along the way. So this definition of unit trains explains why the mixed freights and intermodal trains are not normally considered to be unit trains. We're going to talk about both of these types of trains in upcoming videos. But for now, let me just say that we cannot call them unit trains because each of the boxcars and each of the containers is hauling a variety of products. They are not all hauling the same product. Furthermore, it's very likely that all of the cars on each of these two trains did not come from the same origin, nor are they heading to the same destination. The boxcars may be headed to various classification yards along the way, from which local freights will deliver them to various industries. As for the double stacks, some may be dropped off at various intermodal yards along the way where they are loaded onto trucks for delivery, and other double stacks on the train may be destined to ports for overseas shipping. But don't worry about these kinds of trains because we're going to talk about them in future videos. So I am currently running three types of unit trains on my layout: coal porters, both loaded and empty, covered hoppers, and tank cars. But I am not running any auto racks as unit trains on my layout. Perhaps I should, because modern era railroads run a lot of them, but I just don't like them. They are way too big for my layout. They don't look good running on my minimum radius curves of 13 3/4 inches. Also, I'm not currently running any unit trains of refrigerated cars for the simple reason that I don't have any of them. Besides, they too are pretty big for the curves of my layout. So let's take a closer look at the three types of unit trains that I am running. All of the cars in my unit coal trains originate at the same location and are delivered to the same destination. All of them are hauling the same product, namely coal. I like to say that the loaded coal trains on my layout originate at the mines in Wyoming's Powder River Basin, which is off layout to the east. They cross my layout, which is basically a bridge route, and continue on either to power plants for generating electricity in the west or to the west coast, from where the coal is loaded on ships bound for Asia. And then the empties come back, cross my layout, and return to the Powder River Basin for reloading. There is no interchanging of the cars along the way or any breaking of the train up to head the cars to various destinations. My staging yard makes it easy to replicate this movement of unit coal trains without a need for actual coal mines or power plants on my layout. In fact, there are no coal mines or power plants on the Evanston subdivision which I am modeling. And the main line on my layout is double-tracked, just like the prototype. So loaded coal trains can run in a continuous loop westbound, and empty coal trains in a continuous loop eastbound. This creates the illusion of a continuous flow of loads to the west and empties returning to the east. And now, what about those covered hoppers? I should have lots of covered hoppers on my layout, and I need to get a lot more of them because the world's largest deposits of trona are located just 20 miles west of Green River. The trona is mined and processed into soda ash at 4 gigantic plants there. Soda ash is a white powdered or granular material used to manufacture glass, detergents, chemicals, and other industrial products. As such, soda ash is one of the most widely used and important commodities in the United States. Also, a large company called Simplot is located about 20 miles east of Green River. Simplot produces phosphate fertilizer. Right now, I'm investigating the kinds of freight cars Simplot needs, but it appears that it needs covered hoppers and tank cars. Although Simplot would be located off layout for me, covered hoppers and tank cars from the plant would cross my layout. All right, The final type of unit train running on my layout is tank car trains transporting petroleum-based products. There are no oil refineries on my layout, but there are refineries located off layout, such as the Sinclair refinery some 130 miles to the east of Green River, and various refineries located just north of Salt Lake City, 175 miles west of Green River. Again, as with coal, petroleum products don't originate on my layout. Instead, they originate at locations off layout and are destined to locations off layout. These origins and destinations are represented by my staging yard. Tank cars transporting ethanol also cross my layout, but they do not originate on my layout, nor are they destined to industries on my layout. Ethanol production is concentrated in the Midwest, where most of the corn used in ethanol production is grown. Corn is not grown in the semi-arid climate of southwestern Wyoming, which I am modeling, but ethanol trains do run through the area I am modeling. The tank cars running on my layout are owned by shippers and leasing companies, not by the Union Pacific Railroad. Over here at Evanston is one of the major industries on my layout, still under construction, the Union Tank Car Company. The UTCC manufactures, leases, and repairs tank cars. Here you can see the UTCC markings on a tank car. What does this all mean for our layouts? What are the implications for running unit trains on our layouts? Well, first of all, there's not much industrial switching with unit trains. That's why many in the hobby prefer mixed freight trains and local freights that serve industries. Now, of course, if you have a coal mine, power plant, refinery, or other large industries on your layout depicting the origin or destination of unit trains, then you may be able to do some switching of unit trains. An entire unit train can run under a single waybill rather than a waybill for each car in the train. This might not appeal to many modelers who enjoy operating their layouts using car cards and waybills. There's no classification of unit trains between their origins and destinations. Many modelers would not like that. Yard classification is one of my preferred types of activities. In effect, the cars on a unit train remain permanently coupled together. That's why the Caddo colporteurs on my layout have come with dummy couplers. They are meant to be coupled and stay coupled as unit trains rather than being disassembled for classification. Of course, it may be a challenge if you insist that each car on your unit trains have a unique road number. Perhaps unique road numbers are not as important in N scale as they are in HO scale. Cars can be renumbered, but I have not done so on my layout, at least not yet. Unit trains tend to be long. On a small layout, locomotives often end up chasing the end of the unit train they are pulling. Perhaps unit trains work best on N-scale layouts. Real unit trains typically run with distributed power units, or DPUs. I discussed DPUs in a recent video. DPUs on a layout look very prototypical, but they must be speed matched very well, or they might push and shove the cars right off the tracks. And speed matching is no fun. So I mostly run multiple units at the head of my trains. But unit trains are the moneymakers for the real railroads. We should expect to see them on our layouts if we are modeling modern era prototypes. Well, there's a lot more that I could say about running unit trains on my layout, and I certainly will have more to say about them in upcoming videos. I will be discussing mixed freights and intermodal trains in upcoming videos as well. It seems like there is no lack of topics to talk about in upcoming videos, so if you're here for the first time, I hope you will subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell icon so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. If you like this video, be sure to click on the thumbs up button. As always, I want to thank you for watching because I love hanging out with other model railroaders. And I want to wish you happy railroading. I will see you again very soon.